War is a song about, it's an outrage. It's a song of outrage. And, a lot of our Repo Man songs are just that, outrage about various things, whether it's taxes or war or whatever. President's Got a Gun is another song of outrage about war. One of the exceptions is Come On Integration. So Come On Integration is a song that we do that's not a song of outrage and negativity, but it's a song of positivity and hope for the future. But I think outrage is important. I think it's important that we express our outrage at certain things so that those strong feelings can get out there and people can say, well, why is there outrage against this? What can we do about it? I know it seems like there's a lot of war in the world right now, but I think there's always been war. I think it's just probably in our nature as human beings to want to fight each other. And I don't think that's a reason for dismissing the idea that, we have to do something about it. I think war is evil. It's a very bad thing, and there's never any good that comes from it. But some people say it's a necessary evil. Some people say, well, if we don't go to war, then, somebody's going to come in and take over, and they're going to have an oppressive regime, and those are the people that are going to wind up in power all the time. There's that side of it. And honestly, I'm glad I'm not in charge. I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions. But I still think there is a way forward. I like to think, and I think it's important to think that we can do something about this. We can overcome that tendency to fight, and we can become a better society, a more peaceful society. And that is my dream. I'm ancient, so I remember the Cold War, and we've got something going on like that now. But in the Cold War, everybody was afraid of World War III, nuclear apocalypse. And, that's capability still exists today, and the same players are kind of against each other. But back then, that was the only thing. There were small little, incursions everywhere, but it wasn't as big as the big threat of just nuclear annihilation. And that's where a song came out that kind of inspired this one, certainly inspired the title for this song and the 2024 aspect of it. And it's called We Have a Bigger Problem Now. And it's by the Dead Kennedys, and I think you should really check it out because Dead Kennedys are, one of my biggest influences in my songwriting, my attitude, and everything that came from that. And those albums, especially In God We Trust Incorporated, but Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables, those are the kind of albums that I listened to back when I was a kid and influenced me to today. But anyway, in the song, We Have a Bigger Problem Now. He says, welcome to 1984. It's time to start the Third World War. And so it's just great that 1984 rhymes with war. And so that's why it's 2024 and war. But we kind of had that same kind of thing going on. You've got anywhere where Russia or China or Iran has influence, the United States, thinks they have to go in and provide, money or troops or equipment to the other side, whatever that other side is. And I think the same thing goes on the other side when the United States goes in and has a relationship. Anything that's opposed to that, gets influenced by, Russia and China and so forth. So we have kind of a Cold War going on now, although it just, for some reason, seems less cold and more, closer to home. I'm not sure why that is. But But we've got that going on now. We've been at war. People have been at war for centuries, and the only, I suppose there was a time when it was called the Pax Romana, the Roman peace, and the only reason there was peace was because there was this empire that controlled everything, and so there's nobody to go to war with, and it eventually imploded within, but that's another story. And John F. Kennedy talked about a Pax Americana, but yeah. Certainly, this is going to be an ongoing problem, and we express our outrage about it. But I want there to be a solution. I want there to be positivity around this, and I leave that up to you to come back with some of that. Because I think we can become better as a human race. We can become better as a society, and that is my dream for a peaceful world, a world without war. That's my dream. It's time for a war. If we try, we can take it to 3 fronts or more. Howitzers coming up